Welcome, everybody, to Changing of the Hip Hop Guards podcast. I'm your host, the journalist Sincere. That's my partner, Uncle E. And tonight we have DC's own Meridian. We're going to take it back a little bit and then work our way up to what you guys currently have going on in 2022. If we could go around and everybody introduce themselves and the role they play in the group Meridian.
Okay. My name is Dimensions, and I'm an MC/producer in the group Meridian.
That's Theory, producer in Meridian.
Yeek, MC in Meridian.
All right, Lord Better, MC and graphic designer for Meridian.
Very, very dope. So take us back. How did you guys all link up together? And we'll get into how the group formed a little bit.
Well, it's kind of like with me and Dimes, Bad Human Art House. Well, Dimes, did you have a line you were headed? You jumped in. I didn't want to interrupt a great story.
Well, yeah, you kind of was breaking up. I was just going to say the three of us, Yeek, Theory, and myself, we started off in a crew called Infinite Loop, and that led to us. Was that kind of had his run that led to us forming a group at the behest of Grizz. We did a song. Grizz wanted us to do a song called The Package, and that song turned into the group The Package. The Package changed into ARK. The ARK hit kind of like a little bump, and then out of that bump, Bad Human Art House was created. And in that time frame, and then Theory could tell you that peripheral how Better came along, because that's really through his vein into this. That's his artery right there. How Better came through.
Yeah, absolutely. Became friends working with our man DJ Olo doing these beat conductor competitions. And I met this brother. He was hosting, and supremely skilled on the mic. And he came to our sessions, and bang, there was just fireworks. You know what I'm saying? He was quiet for a bit, and then when he starts to spit, the verses made their way in. And then he brought a good friend along, our man Ben, who we also competed with the Beat Conductors series. And Ben brings a whole nother thing to the table: dope beats and dope rhymes. And five of us in the room, beats are going. This whole thing just gelled. Better speak to how these powers came together.
Oh man, I mean, you guys pretty much summed it up. You know what I'm saying? I came in the game, with the Beat Conductors. How me and Theory met. He became our champion for Beat Conductors in 2012. And everybody kept saying, "Yo, Better, you gotta link up with Theory." So I started linking up with Theory. We started recording, making some dope music. And somewhere along that line is when Bad Human Art House started formulating. I got an invite to sit in a couple sessions. It's like I never left. You know what I'm saying? And off the strength of us being first, it was just an ARK thing, and I got featured on all these ARK songs, and now I'm featured on like 20 ARK songs. Like at this point, we gotta make ourselves our own group. I brought my man Beneficial through. He was like my bud connect pride, so I was always stopping to see him to get some smoke before I went to the sessions. I was like, you know what, B, you should go ahead and come over with me. You know what I'm saying? Let's all hang out. And then he brought an arsenal with him as well. He does production, does rhymes, and he does the video production for the team as well. So it was just a very solid collective. Once the five of us came together, it was, it's like everything was there.
What about you, Yeek?
I've been a part of ARK. I was a part of the Infinite Loop. When the Infinite Loop sort of took their hiatus, or, I can't say broke up because we still family, I said, I got to do something with Dimes and Theory. Theory was one of the main producers in the Infinite Loop. Dimes was one of the main MCs and founders in the Infinite Loop. So we did this song. Next thing you know, that song turns into an album. That album turns into, we got some really dope music. Now, years down the line, things go a little bit crazy in my personal life, and we changed the name of our group from The Package to ARK, and we bumped along into Lord Better at Beat Conductor. Olo was doing radio shows, so Theory meeting better, then Theory would take us up to the Beat Conductors radio show with DJ Olo. Then we just basically formed brotherhood. Next thing you know, he brings Ben around, and then Ben has got fire. So he not only is he got fire, he's a spitter. So that's the perfect addition. So it's like, we just feel like we know we got something to add to the culture. Hip hop together, unified front. We are the team. We win. Team Meridian. We win.
And it was through a camaraderie. The music kind of came. The music came along the way, but the brotherhood is the most important factor. You can be around a bunch of talented individuals, but if there's no gel, if there's no connection, no connective tissue, personalities and chemistry, then it doesn't matter. So that was the most important thing. You know what I mean? I was telling Greg earlier, this is one of the only jobs where you could potentially live and work together, like a marriage, like quarantine. It's quarantine.
It's a real brotherhood, man.
Out of every year potentially, depending on how hot you get. You know what I mean?
Right,
so it's a different dynamic. So to get along got to be different. You know what I mean? Right. And then all that kind of shines through the music as well, because it's a genuineness in the music.
Right. What year did you say you guys came together as a collective?
As this collective.
As this collective, yeah.
2018, something like that. 2017.
We probably started recording maybe before that, right? Maybe like 2016 or something. 2015.
There'd be a company, and then that company, because really, as far as Meridian is concerned, Meridian is probably only like 2 years old.
Right.
Meridian, itself. But Meridian was like a subset under the umbrella Bad Human Art House, with Theory and I created in 2017. Before that, it was just like Better was saying, he was helping out, adding spice to stuff we was doing with ARK and like my solo stuff, and we were doing Rap Bread, but all that's around 2017, 2016.
Okay, and you just mentioned Bad Human. What exactly is Bad Human about?
Bad Human Art House is all right. So it came about. Theory said something off the cuff about a bad human, right? And I thought that was dope. I added Art House, and then I hit it with the little German twist on it, just to be fancy, right? And then but the whole thought process behind it was it being just that, so not being relegated to just audio art. So we got visual art, and at this time, even when I had these thoughts, I didn't even know how extensive Better was in doing graphic design. But we know a bunch of artists in our peripheral, so why not have one more venue where artists could kind of work together, maybe do lifts or prints or something like that of their artwork, and then also somebody wants to get the original, we tie something in, but it was a platform where there's different types of art that can all be gravitated to this one nucleus. It's a one-stop shop for DMT artists. You know what I'm saying?
For us working together, it's a lot of secrets are held tightly from our generation, but there's a lot we have to give to others as well. We write, we create a mood, and delivering that to other artists. That's a big part of what Bad Human is going to be about.
Right. Yeah. So it's production. Then, like I said, there's also visual art and things of that aspect. Merch, different types of merch. We want to get into a whole bunch of different things. But right now, the wheelhouse that we had at our disposal in abundance was the music, right? We had made more leeway through Infinite Loop and ARK through the music. So it's it makes sense to kind of build off of that foundation. And then when we get more situated, it can handle more. There's other artists that want to come through and work with us so we can help produce and write projects for them. But right now, it's about Meridian, and then we got some solo projects from the 5 of us, and then we can get into other aspects and other and other artists from that point on. But it's just about a bigger vision.
We also have a lot of work that's out there now. All of us.
Right. Yeah, we have a pretty
You go to
extensive
the Bad
catalog
Human
right
Art
now.
House, you'll see the catalog. You'll be like, wow.
Yeah.
You bang that catalog now.
So individually, you guys have a lot of stuff out
Yeah,
there.
yeah.
We all got
I
solo projects.
I have an album called Slanguage, A Brain Cell Abrasion. And then Grizz has Entertainment and Face Crunch, so he got 2 albums.
And I have
Better-
several instrumental albums out
Yeah,
there.
he got several instrumental albums.
projects, Vibrate 1 and Vibrate 2.
And we have Vibrate 1 and 2, Respect Your Elder Brethren. That's what Vibrate stands for. And that's like audio documentary type of shit, going on from, far as like elders of our community, 35 and up. My whole mantra is DOA, death of ageism. You know what I'm saying? We're other than America eating is young, hip hop eats its old.
How about
You know what I'm saying?
And this project
being
features
respected. And then Better has several projects himself that he can name off to you that he had before he even came through the crew. He had work out.
Yeah, I got several projects out. It's what you should know better. Got that one out there. The Return of Thorough. That's a Bolo. That's actually me and DJ Olo. You know what I mean? DJ Olo, myself, and State of Mind Multimedia and Design started Beat Conductors, where the DJs and producers come together and mix it down, like minds chop it up. So out of that collective, me and O, we did the Return of Thorough. We also did El Better Where You At. And there's also a smooth, mature mix that I did called Rhythm, Rhyme, and Blues. That was under Lord Better. So, we did the Guerrilla Republic project too. That was actually pretty dope because it was The Truth Was Set by the Door. Theory was a part of that project also. Dimes, I don't know if he was on. I know Grizz was on that joint.
He was on it.
Yeah, Beat Conductors had a collab with Guerrilla Republic. And we all came together and did a compilation album with MCs and artists all around the world. And all the production came from, the DMV area. So I'm on records with dudes from like Scandinavia, that, you know what I'm saying, and Brazil and stuff like that. And, it was a real dope project that we had our hands on. So we got a lot of work, individually, we got a lot of work that's out there, and collectively, we got a lot of project that's out there as well. All of it's coming up.
On badhuman.com, I'm sure it's about, close to maybe 100 joints, and then we have plenty unreleased that would probably match. We probably got more than that unreleased that we plan on releasing as far as through the Rye Bread, my solo, Better's new solo world. We got ARK, we got Meridian, we got all these different projects that are really we're kind of lining up to start knocking these projects out. I mean, they already done. They just need to a little makeup and pick out the right dress, put them out on the strip.
I let them work.
Can you guys talk a little bit about the name Meridian and the concept behind it?
Well, originally when I thought about the word Meridian, and we was trying to figure out, so like Meridian kind of came about organically. Originally, it was just, Bad Human Art House and working with these other brothers that we've come into this camaraderie with, because we were all solo. And ARK existed, but it was kind of in the limbo state. And so, but the cohesion was there, and we was doing enough work where it kind of made sense to do the album. You know what I mean? To do a group to kind of get everybody lit, and then fall back into the solo thing. And so, with it being 5 of us, when I originally thought about the word meridian, I was thinking about the 5 meridians of the human body, like neck, arm, head, leg, because I knew that was a concept that our age bracket would understand, right? A lot, like that whole, right? So, and then it kind of made sense with how each of the moving parts worked. It did kind of form a body. You know what I'm saying? So that's where I came up. And then Better had his spin with the Meridian thing there too. And he also built the hieroglyphics, part of our design. Go ahead, Better. I'll let you take it from there.
Yeah, I always looked at it as like an elemental thing. You know what I'm saying? I thought all of us, represented different elements. So you talk about the 5 elements, earth, wind, fire, water, and we take the 5th element as ether, which is like the soul, the spirit. When you put the 5 of those together, and we're all interchangeable within the 5, so we all represent each one at a different place in time. So even when you look at we have several logos that represent it. You know, we got the 5 star, you know, the 5-pointed star logo, which is also in the Wapu number 5, that represents the same thing. In addition to that, we have you know, the elements, the element symbols, you know what I'm saying, like the triangles upside down, the line going through it for earth, wind, fire, water, and also circle for ether, because that's always eternal. So I felt like, you know, when we come together, you know, we bring these elements along with, you know what I'm saying, and to me, it just made sense. You know what I'm saying? We come together as 5 for Meridian, and it's all elemental with the 5 elements, and the logo support that as well. And, you know, also with the Vitruvian man, you know what I'm saying? They all kind of intertwined together. So you got that 5-star pointed star for bad human, and then Meridian came out of that using that Nuwapu 5, and we shine either way. You know, if you tapped in, you know what I'm saying, a lot of folks know what we're talking about.
Yeah.
If you're not, you know what I mean, you're going to see the elements and you're going to see those symbols, and those images are going to be implanted in your mind. So if you don't get it now, you figure it out later on down the road. But either way, it's eternal, baby. And that's what it always been to me. You know, Meridian is eternal. And we are the key meridians of this hip-hop thing.
No, Yee, what were you saying just now?
You match whoever you want at your own given time to that element.
That's right.
Place us all there. So that right there is like, it works. This is what makes sense.
Yeah, when somebody need to be water, they water. When somebody need to be fire, they fire. When somebody need to be earth, soil, and so forth. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It is not excluded to just that 5. You know, we can get into the metals and the woods and all that. You know what I'm saying? Whatever we need, we tap in when need be.
Don't mind me smiling as I'm listening to you guys talk about this. It's just that it's all, you know, like you know, me and Cecilia got together, man, and we do Changing of the Hip Hop Guards. We try to represent that true hip hop feeling. You know what I mean? So like listening to everything that you're talking about, it's so relatable, and it's what we kind of came up on. So it's just really dope to hear that nowadays still. You know what I mean?
It's still here, baby.
No doubt. I mean, I know that it's still out there, but my opinion is that we don't get to hear it all the time. You know what I mean? I feel like it's changed so much and gotten away from certain things. And it's just funny because I just recently, I think it was yesterday or today, I posted something about, you know, does tradition even matter anymore? You know what I mean? Because it seems that like as time goes, a lot of traditions, and not only in music, but just in general, are being kind of forgotten. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So personally, I love to see when certain traditions are being kept. You know what I mean? And especially when it comes to hip hop.
Because that's the culture right there. Yeah.
Right.
You know, our technique
for our culture. We are responsible for the culture.
Right.
That's what you're gonna hear when you spend time with us. Together, collectively or individually, we are responsible for our culture. This is our culture. We're responsible for it. And you're gonna hear it and you're gonna feel it, and then you'll be happy about where we bring it at.
Every time, because I feel that's our response. You know, I feel like our technique, our vibe, our wave, whatever you want to call it, is culture hop. You know what I'm saying? Like that's what we represent, and it's all elemental, and that's what we all about. Bringing like the organic feel. Like when this thing originally started, it was a certain energy that came with it that's lacking now because there's so many external things that are involved in the music and the hip hop. People using hip hop incorrectly. They're making music calling it hip hop where they shouldn't be. You know what I'm saying? Because they're not representing the culture and they're not representing the elements. They're not representing that vibration. And we wanted to make sure we tap into that every time we put something out. Whenever we coming through with something, it has to be elemental. You have to be able to feel it. It's never just for anything empty. It's always for something solid. Every time, every track, every record you hear from us, it has to be for something solid. Nothing shallow, nothing hollow. Gotta be thorough.
True to the culture. We are true to the culture.
It's culture hop here, baby.
Responsible for it. You're gonna hear that.
Nice.
You're gonna hear it. You're gonna feel it. That's who we are. Meridian is here.
With there being 5 members in the group, what kind of discussions did you guys have as far as the concepts and topics that you guys want to talk about on each song?
It usually comes from the beat. You know what I mean? For me, it always starts with the beat. You know, Theory will come through with the file production, the Beneficial will come through with a beat, and we vibe out to it. very rarely do we have a concept prior. You know what I'm saying? If we have something, a message that we feel we need to get across, then we'll approach it that way. But 9 times out of 10, it's the music that guides us, man. It's all spiritual, bro. You know, this is spiritual music we putting out there. It's soulful music. It's soul culture hop. You know what I mean?
Theory or Ben and play a track, and it's like we vibing with each other. Like, how you feel? I feel like this, and that's what the song ends up being. I feel, because we all end up feeling the same way too. That's the crazy part. It's not far in how that track drives us.
Yeah, and it's so organic. I try to have something working. A lot of times it'll be something new. I'll always have something in the camera. I'll maybe have something that I just started 10 minutes before somebody walked in, and it literally will come together from that. The better's first in, where it's kind of first dibs. He starts humming something. I'm like, what was that? And then that might turn into a melody or a bass. Or the hook is born right there. By the time the next person arrives, there's a beat and a hook working. And I leave the beat playing as I'm just working and adding to it, and just things develop from there. You know,
Right.
So it's a process people want to be a part of.
Yeah, you know, magic.
We pull it out the ethers, baby. We pull out the ethereal realm into the natural realm. You know what I'm saying? Every time.
Just
the
like
beat
that.
gets to playing, I tap in.
Right.
20 minutes later, we got the hook, and I'm like at least 8 bars in.
Next thing you know, then I walk through the door. What's this? Oh, okay. Where we going? Let me hear that verse again. All right, now I'm started. Next thing you know, here comes 2. Here comes Dimensions. Oh, I like that. What y'all got so far? Next thing you know, he started. Then here comes Ben. What we doing? Oh, okay. Next thing you know, there's another one. It happens like that every time we get together.
Yeah,
it's very rare that we don't get together and create collectively. It's just and it's almost effortless because we all tapped into the culture. This is what we want to do, and we're responsible for this, man.
You guys
when
talk.
you're solo artist, you know, when now you can be, you know, 1/4 of the writing, 1/5 of the writing. You know, it's a lot easier to accomplish different wholenesses, if that makes sense. You know what I mean? Because this is its own thing outside of our solo stuff. So we're already like used to having to do more. When you're part of a collective, it makes it just that much easier to add on to other great ideas, opposed to just being the one, you know, kind of coming up, creating that whole ecosystem yourself. You know, working with creatives is a beautiful thing, and being creative is a beautiful thing. You know,
It's going to true brotherhood and love, like we're family, we're brothers. You know what I'm saying? We talk respectively like brothers. You know what I'm saying? So it's you know, we come together to make this happen. Meridian is here.
Right. You guys talked a little bit about recording since 2016 together, being official around 2018. What has the early response been from Meridian so far?
We've had really good feedback, especially with the first single rap that's out right now. But we released this song called Uncaged Animals prior. That was like the first official release, and we did a couple of kind of like playlist package joints for during the quarantine called Social Experiment and Vaccine. And so those were like the drumming up to the more official releases. Uncaged Animals, we have a video for, and all of those things got real great feedback. Premier has been spinning our records. Scram Jones has been spinning our records. Chuck D has spent our records. So the feedback has been very good. A couple of DJs in UK and DJ Clip out in Portland. So we're making our headway. You know, we the little engine that could, but it's definitely, the feedback has definitely been very, very, very positive.
Yeah, folks went crazy over Uncaged Animals, man. When that joint dropped, yeah, they was getting a lot of special requests for that one. It was in rotation quite a bit. Yeah, people, like that was the first track that you know, they said Premier was asked for that shit like firsthand. He was like, "Nah, give me this shit like now. Like I need the unedited version. I'm spinning this on Shade 4 or 5." And the client that we was, the guy that we had working for us, he was like, he ain't never experienced nothing like that.
Right.
That was like, that was, and we had visuals to go with it. So,
Right.
that was a good look just coming out the gate, being that all of us have been working individually, but then to come together on something like that and to get that type of response from somebody that we grew up looking up to, that was solid. You know what I'm saying? That let us know we were moving in the right direction.
Yep. Yep.
Anytime we say, I love this joint, we like, yeah, okay, we got something there.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, that's a dope song, man. I like that. I like the visuals for it too.
Thanks.
Yeah, that was beneficial on the video. Me beneficial on the video on that one.
And the beat. Ben on the beat.
Yeah, Ben did the beat. Yeah.
Talk a little bit about the DC hip hop scene. How supportive have they been?
So with the Raw Bread project, we kind of like, so my crew Infinite Loop was there. Like we play a role in the inception of like the DMV hip hop scene, far as like Black Broadway, kind of like the centralized spot for DMV hip hop. And over time, you see, families are created, people have transitioned. There's all kinds of life things that go on, and so at times it kind of ebbs and flows as far as output. And I just felt like I saw a void. It seemed like we were kind of, as a scene, sleep, and so that's when I conceived the Rye Bread. And I looked at, like, the whole thing about death of ageism, right? It was people that we had been around for decades that we had respect and love for, but we never quite linked up, right? And so time has been a thing for me personally, right? No day is promised. And we can't continue as these gray hairs populate our face, still act like we're not on the other side of the clock, especially doing what we're doing, plus the added pressure of, at least in our area, go-go's number one. Right?
Yeah, DC is a big go-go city.
Yeah, we've been doing it before rap was cool. Now everybody's rapping, right? And direct to consumer, everybody literally gets a chance at their 15 minutes of fame. And with all of these different constraints and all this milieu out here that we are trying to, you got glimpses of like really talented people surrounded by a whole bunch of foolishness, right? And you got to find those people. So noticing that the scene was kind of asleep, I just felt like it would be dope to do something to kind of mobilize people, kind of re-energize the scene. Theory got thousands of beats. We are respected in our scene. You know what I'm saying? So that's 73 artists and counting that I've been able to mobilize for this project called Respect Your Elder Brethren. You got to be 35 years at least to even be on the project. This is for the gray hairs. This is for the wisdom. But it's not a retrospective, right? Like, we showing you we nice now. This is not right? This is now. We watching that now.
And it's not about dressing down the youngins about
right. It's not about
you're doing this wrong, you're doing that wrong.
Right.
It's us doing us.
It's us doing us for us. You know what I'm saying? So with that kind of reignited the scene.
And you gotta keep in mind, it's like hip hop is grown. It's coming up. Hip hop was young, but it's a lot older now. But you got different faces of hip hop. Like the youngest between 15 to 20 don't really vibe with the hip hop that we listen to. If we don't really vibe with their music, but there's no new music for our generation. So we kind of wanted to change that. It was a void right there. We didn't want to keep listening to the stuff that we listened to from the 90s or the 80s or whatever, even early 2000s. We want something more today that sounds current, but that still, gives that energy, because the energy they giving is a little different from ours. So, we just giving a, up-to-date version of what our energy is, but still making it sound, solid and clean.
Right.
Respect your elder brethren. We was always spitters. We still sitters.
Yeah, we're gonna bar you up.
But this is not old school. You know what I'm saying?
Old school.
Yeah.
No throwback.
Nah.
This is not no
It ain't
throwback. Yeah.
Bar.
Hey, Dimensions.
Beats
Let me
and
ask you.
bars.
Dimensions. Let me ask you a question. Speaking on, like you just said about the gray hairs and everything, you had a line that you said, I wasn't sure. I was trying to catch it, but did you say you're half God, half
old mate?
Old
Yeah.
mate?
Half
Old
God,
Mac.
half old Mac. Old Mac, the rubber people.
Oh, okay. For a second, I thought you said, when I heard it the first time, I thought you said half God, half old man. And I'm like,
Oh, no.
okay, I mean, I relate to that too, though.
Right. No. But I do have a line. Is it my gray matter or does the gray matter?
Right.
Like I cherish my grays. I ain't Beijing and I
I
ain't
do too, man.
no disrespect anybody who do. But like this means that I made it past 21.
Right.
Yeah,
This is a trophy.
yeah, man.
You know what I'm saying?
You know to tell the
And
tale.
nice. Like I'm
Hey,
really
I like that one. I'm gonna start using that one. This is a trophy.
this is a trophy.
I like that. I like
You know what I'm saying? A lot
That's
of
that
people
wisdom right there. You earned
make
that.
it through this marathon. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
A lot of people, their race got short and their hair was all black.
Yeah.
Right? And I appreciate that time that time is important, man. You know what I'm saying? But one currency you can't get back.
Wow.
Yeah. So, yeah, that's what that's about. Honoring the ones with those trophies. Letting them know that people still care. We had cats pick up the pen that they ain't picked it up in the dean. You know what I'm saying? Now they dropping projects because they see like it's still love and light out here, form and energy. And when you're a creative, you should create.
Period.
Everybody that shoot on the court on the weekend is not trying to try out for the NBA, right?
But they still balling every weekend.
But if you love it, why not? I don't go to the clubs unless we're performing. Yep. I don't go to shake bars. I'm not in the meat markets. I'm like, you know what I'm saying? This is my catharsis, this music. And I'm nice. I did say that, right? I'm really nice.
Yo, better.
We all are, you know what I'm saying? So when I tell brothers, like if we didn't do I can speak for me. If I personally wasn't as nice as I am and feel myself still evolving, I would have been let this go. That's just me personally, right? But I truly feel like I'm born to do this. You know what I mean? So it's not about reaching anybody else's benchmark. I'm already successful. I have to respect what I do. You know what I'm saying? And so do these gentlemen around us. We've affected people's lives. We've heard that face to face. You know what I'm saying? So to know that you've had impact on someone is major. You know what I mean?
Influential, for real influential.
Yeah. So this is not about like, what the world may deem as successful. Everybody want to monetize, but like it's also a success in impact. And I know we do that. And we leave a mark on anybody that hears what we do. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So
we've been able to touch people's lives in a positive during a negative that they were going through.
Right. We've been
what
there.
Else you do it for?
That's right. Sometimes we are the light. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So key meridians.
Better and sincere, man. Don't worry, don't rush it. You guys will get your champions, your trophies pretty soon.
I got them coming in.
I mean, I can't tell. I don't know better.
I got a couple of them. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
I'm the youngest member in the group. I'm the Michael Jackson of the group. You know what I'm saying?
So. Baby face better. You know what I mean?
You know what I'm saying? I'm on my way.
I like that concept, Dimension, man. That's really, you guys really dope that you're putting together.
We should be proud of our ascension. You know what I'm saying? And pushing back the hands of time as much as possible, knowing that there's so many different variables outside of your control that can, right? Yeah. Every day. So me and Theory have a saying when we holler at each other, how you doing? I'm on the right side of the dirt.
I'm here today. I made it this morning.
You know what I'm saying?
It's a
everyday breathing is better than the alternative, brother.
Oh man. And
And real life,
I woke up.
On the music side and on the MC side, this continues to evolve. You know what I'm saying? Like, so we got love for that. We do it for the love. It's my yoga. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
And I know it hits. There's no question. I don't have to pull rake or any of that. The impact is real. We walk in the room, they know, and then it's you know, it's how we get down. We want that. You know, and that right there is just trying to push this music forward and let that be heard, because for the most part, it's unheard, if you ask me.
And that's why we appreciate the gentleman for like adding to that mission. You know what I'm saying? Of getting it forward. You know what I mean? And it's not like it's not other brothers of our ilk that do this around the world. They are. It's just before, you know, used to be able to turn on terrestrial radio and you would hear a mixture, right? You would hear a smorgasbord of different, like, because the BS has always been around. There's always been, like, you know, a super machismo of, you know, braggadocious, womanizing. That's always been around, right? But there was balance, right? And even like brothers who like on the street, say like Just Ice, right? Who had that rap. He don't even talk about that. He rapping about other things, like it's like the ones that were known for like busting heads. Like you would look at Freddie Fox, you might get an idea looking at him, but when you hear him rapping, right? Like he not pushing that. You get what I'm saying? It's like the cats that were really known for doing it.
I don't know, man. I used to listen to Freddie Fox and be like, I don't know, but
Freddie will wild out, but what I'm saying
sound
is
like he might just try and eat you like a cereal bowl or something.
Right, but it's still within within the MCism. It's not about just blowing your head off.
Yeah. I'm joking with you. I know what you mean.
You know what I'm saying? It's still within a certain realm of artistry where like now cats are like literally singing about killing you.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it's kind of crazy now at this point in time. It's like it's just, you know, just weird. You know what I'm saying? So but yeah, that was just Rob Bread was just my role in trying to play it. And that, so to speak of the DC scene, it's like brothers like Tim Hicks, Priest, the Nomad, brothers like RBI. We got a host of cats that making a leeway. Born Eye. It's it'd be too many to try to rattle off. But it's people like making conscientious steps to help elevate our area. And we've always kind of had to, like I said, we was rapping when it wasn't that popular. You know what I mean? And then you got that indigenous music of go-go, which is the 300-pound gorilla, like, you know, but they had to fight for theirs too. So hip-hop had to do the same thing in this city, but you still second fiddle to go-go. Like, you know, it's been major artists come here, and then the go-go band will open, and then the crowd would leave. Platinum artists. You know what I mean? So people had to like rearrange, just like when people didn't know too much about what's your boy Tech Nine, right? They might just think Tech Nine is just this local rapper, and then they'll come to his show and then Tech Nine walk off stage, the whole crowd walking off, because in that area he's God. You get what I'm saying? So not understanding the dynamic of like regional and go-go is that here. You know what I mean? So we had to kind of contend with that, but we etched out our little space, like Broadway, and it was other little pockets all throughout the DMV. And even like Better, who's like well versed in the area, he moved around a lot. He was doing things, it was things that was going on, you know, parallel to us, like we were moving at the same time. And
they were doing their thing in DC. I was doing mine in Northern Virginia at the time.
Right.
You know,
so all these things are happening. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Can you guys talk a little bit about artists that you've gained friendships, relationships with outside of the DMV, and some that you've worked with that we may not know, may know?
I'm gonna give a shout out to my man Mike E down in the Norfolk area, Virginia Beach area. He used to do some work with Teddy Riley. He came up with Pharrell and all of them. Me and him did a song and a video a couple years ago. This song called Testimony. Mike E featuring Grizz. If you go check that out, I'm sure you would like that. But he's one of the artists that I've worked with outside of the DMV area. Dope.
We also work with this cat named Feng Sai Yu, who used to run with the Roots. I think he signed to Asylum. We did some work with him. He's originally from the area. I used to be in a group with Stick, man, from Dead Prayers. That was like before our time. We had stuff like back in the Infinite Loop days. Jerobi from Tribe Called Quest was our manager.
Wow.
As ARK, as we got into like our own thing with just the three of us with ARK, we kind of just then concentrated on ourselves. After Theory and I created Bad Human Art House, that's when our ideas changed to being more, playing roles in other people's art. But up until then, we were just kind of managing our own plate. So that's where we are now. Other than the brothers that's in Meridian, and their solo stuff, we want to get, we want to get into working with other artists from this point on, because me and Theory are kind of like, we lab rats, you know what I mean? And we want to me, the money is good, right? But really it's more about like impact and imprint. When I first started even doing this music, it was to make an impact. It wasn't like thinking so much about the monetization of it. And that still, it plays a role in my passion for doing it. And so being able to create with other creators is like something that, we all kind of look forward to.
We go back, so we also, like our last ARK album, Jerobi White from Tribe Called Quest was on there twice with our crew, Infinite Loop. There's some other cats that I'm sure.
Yeah, when it goes to the people we work with, Jerobi.
Just endless.
I got a chance to do some work with Inspector Deck from the Woo. We had a video, me, Dimes, and Grizz as the package. That was Peter Rosenberg's directorial debut. Something that touched his heart and that he shot for us. So, we've had some touches with it. We've opened for tons of acts. Dimes, run some names.
I mean, KRS One, De La Soul, Tribe Called Quest, Camp Low, Switcher Boy, No Malice. Man, I can't remember all that.
That was a great list, right? He met the mark. Yeah,
it's a bunch of people, man. Like, so. And we've also been to New York. We've done End of the Week, which was a crazy experience. We've been in Blaze Magazine, we've been in Source Magazine, a subsidiary of our crew back then, Live Society, which Theory was a part of. They were supposed to do Lyricist Lounge, but some idiot got that shut down. But so we had those close, like the 6 degrees of separation is crazy. A guy I used to rap with named Face, we were supposed to produce Mecca's first solo album from Diggable Planets. It was like all kinds of this little.
We made the Unsigned Hype. The band Live Society actually made Unsigned Hype.
Poetic, great niggas, Infinite Loop, right before he passed. You know what I mean? So it's just like we've had all these different brushes and, come no cigar moment, but we just kept pushing. And now that it's more direct to consumer, when we went through the grabbers of somebody in Brazil, and we got sales and spins in Canada, Germany, just, so it's starting to get out there. It's starting to matriculate slowly. But
high school lunchroom table was me and Killer Sin from Killer Arms. How about that? You know what I mean? Just
nice.
Well, we got these little history. We all have some type of history here and there, and brushes and all that type of stuff. So, but the passion wasn't lost, and so that's what's paramount. That's what gets you through the ebbs and the flows, right? The passion.
Yep.
Right.
Yeah.
Not for it. We're responsible for this culture, man.
Yeah.
No doubt. Can you guys?
Everybody you see on your screen is responsible for this culture. It's our culture.
Right.
Can you guys talk a little bit about some of the events, shows that you've opened up for artists? Anything that you guys participated in, paying your dues throughout the years?
I mean, for ARK and Infinite Loop, we pretty much played everywhere that you could play other than Capital One Arena. And that's the only place that we really haven't, like, far as solid venues in the area.
Headline at
We
9:30.
hosted a lot of shows. You know, as Infinite Loop, we have a pretty nice following in the area, so we was able to get like not Live Nation events and stuff like that. We were just starting to like come out of that chrysalis, and then COVID hit. Far as like ARK was moving around a lot. And then right when we put Bad Human Art House together and the Raw Bread and that Meridian, all that started to jail, COVID hit. We had just like started doing a couple of gigs, and then that whole shutdown hit. And so we had to learn how to pivot. You know, the whole plan of attack had to change. So, you know, in the last couple of years, we haven't done nothing, you know, really like outside. And before then,
we have one gig at the
Kennedy Center.
The Kennedy Center before everything.
But that was right before COVID.
Yeah, right before COVID.
Kennedy Center was right before COVID.
Yeah, that was a dope show.
Book for that
week.
Yeah,
so we played the Kennedy Center, we played the 930 Club. Like I say, you know, it's venues that you would know if you were, you know, if you lived here. This is like a bunch of venues that changed names and went through all kinds of incarnations. But like for the most part, like down there, every performance venue of note, you know, in that time frame, and like there wasn't even like Black Broadway, the U Street scene that we created. Like we populated that. It was like a ghost town. So like we literally created a scene from the mud, and it became viable. And we was able to monetize our art, dealing with like the Eritreans and a few other brothers and sisters of different ethnic groups. You know what I'm saying? That saw the
value.
The value. Yeah, thank you, sir. Saw the value in what we were doing, and that kind of reseeded it to the point. All the performing arts, whether it was hip hop or reggae or rock, ska, whatever, all these different performing art venues or these different platforms for performing artists to go to, eventually came to the resurgence of Black Broadway and now the gentrification and all the things that come with it, because that was a hot spot. You know what I mean? It's like, so we've seen our impact as artists on this city, like at a grassroots level, all the way up into, you know, our effect on other generations that have now come up through that same scene that, you know, that we've provided venues. You know, I tell my son all the time, who's an artist, he's now living in Atlanta, but when he was here trying to grind out, I was like, the only reason why you can perform here is because we did that there. You know what I'm saying? Like, so you're collecting dividends off of the work we put in. So, yeah, man, it'd be a host of like, I couldn't even rattle off that's kind of crazy. We 30 years in, you know what I'm saying? It's like,
right.
Yeah.
Anybody you grew up listening to, we probably done been on stage with at some stage of this game.
So check this out. The new single is called Rep. It's making its rounds. Can you guys talk a little bit about that single?
You better watch your step.
Well, I put together this thing. I don't know what I was thinking about that day, but I don't know. It had a good feel to me. And when I unveiled it to the brothers, it was magnetic, and it came together the way it does. Don, how about that hook?
Yeah, so I heard that, and I heard French horns, and Theory started playing these kind of, I call it stadium music. Mm-hmm. He started playing these kind of orchestral French horns, and so we have this thing. Since I don't write, Theory allows me to download, and of the past year, hooks might hit me like right then, and we'll just drop a little rough of it right then. You know what I'm saying? Kind of catching in the moment, like So that's what happened. He's playing these horns out over the track, and that hook started coming to me. I run with it, kind of polish off the hook, lay it, and I think I might even lay the hook in my verse at the same time.
Might have the same day. Yep.
Yeah, the same day. And then as the other brothers, if usually Better's coming in a couple of hours after me. So if that wasn't the case, then I probably sent it out. Yo, this is what this is my offer. You know what I mean? Because how I look at it, like I'll put in certain things, the concepts that come to my head, I'll say, okay, that feel like me. And then there's certain concepts that come to my head, and I say that feel like the group and those different point of views. You know what I mean? So, and rap was just, to be honest with you, I think rap originally was an ARK song.
Now, how about that?
We were gonna feature.
Yeah, rap was a
was
ARK
gonna
song.
feature.
Y'all wasn't
Ben
gonna leave
and
me
Jack.
out there, Joe. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't gonna get left out on that. I heard the
It's
beat. I
true.
said, I'm
That's
on
the first
that.
one, isn't it?
No,
That's
I'm
it.
on that.
Yeah, that's the first one. Yeah. So it's
What
like,
he had
but
to
like
offer
when the Meridian
was
thing came,
undeniable.
we just, you have to pivot. You know what I mean? So, and that's what we did. As like I said, as Ben and Bella came around and the congruency was there, we just made that pivot on certain songs that was for the ARK. So it allowed whatever ARK needed to sift through. It gave that time, but we kept it moving. You know what I mean? So yeah, so it was after that. It was magic. Everybody just liked their part. We liked everybody's part. We put it together, and that's history. You know what I mean? Tim hooked up with this cat named Roddy Rod from Humble Monarch. He shot the visuals for it. He's a dope MC and producer in his own right.
And DJ.
Humble and DJ, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, Roddy Rod is
Producer, DJ, MC, and video director, very talented individual. And Humble Monarch and their crew are a bunch of formidable cats. They put in work with from the scene as well. So they're like inspiration. And just like Priest the Nomad and other countless, brothers and sisters that's trying to put that work in. Yeah.
Yep.
Where can the people find this single at?
Badhuman.com. Right now, badhuman.com. And that's BADHUMN. There's no second A in human. There's no A in human. BADHUMN.com. For right now, for everything Bad Human Art House, but eventually they will all be up on all the streaming platforms. Right now, everything is about data, so I like to try to see what can come to us directly first. Let's get an understanding. Go where you're welcome, not where you're tolerated. Right, so it's all about metadata. Learn who likes you and play to them. All we need is 20,000 out of 8 billion. Right. That's all you need. Give me a loyal 20K. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
For the brothers like y'all, man, that's gonna happen.
Spreading the word.
Blink of an eye.
Yeah, just spreading the word and let that loyalty build and let it be grassroots. And that way it's real. Some people have 1 gazillion views on their YouTube, but only 12 people show up at the shows.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
We know the game, so we wanna just come with this kind of grassroots movement towards getting to our goal and basically putting everybody individually in a position to highlight what they bring as individuals, whether they're producing, writers, or what have you.
Right.
Badhuman.com.
Real quick, where did you guys shoot that video at?
For rap, out in Harper's Ferry, on
West Virginia.
Yeah.
In John Brown Town.
So that open field scene when that's okay.
Yeah,
that was
around DC, you got to be careful with the drones.
Yeah.
Yeah, ain't no drones in DC.
Right. And that was just that open with the rolling hills. Aesthetically, that played a role because of those horns that we spoke about earlier. He saw the grandness of the horns and wanted to match it with a grand visual. You know what I'm saying? Not Roddy, not all the darkness, not, you know what I mean? Outside, blue skies. Yeah, to set that off.
That's dope. Dope video, man. Dope video.
Try to shoot something different.
When can we expect a whole project from Meridian?
So we're about to drop a whole project called Meridian is Here. Most likely it'll be part of a trilogy. We also have the next single that will be coming out shortly called Flozell, which is like the antithesis to something like rap. It's real gritty, real dark, a real hard beat. That's going to be the second single. And then the third single that we're about to shoot a visual for next week, actually, directed by Lord Better, called Let Go. So that's the and we're trying to drop the album Meridian is Here, hopefully 420. So sure.
Right around the corner.
Yeah. That's what we're aiming for. So it's been a long time coming. Getting this album to fruition. You know what I'm saying? And what about the births?
Yeah, man.
You guys have a really cool story, man. Like, as far as individually, the way you've come together, all the different projects you've done. You guys should think about doing like a little docu-series and drop one series with each trilogy.
Right. You know what? That's a good idea.
Sounds like a great idea.
That'll be dope, man. You have a good story, man. You guys got a good story.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate it.
Appreciate that.
Anything outside of music, Meridian plans on traveling down avenues in the future outside of music?
I mean, I have this podcast with Theory that I created called Amongst Friends, and we'll be trying to figure that out. Two black men navigating through life. Well, I don't know what we're gonna talk about. It's not just like a hip hop thing. It's gonna be about a host of things. I've been doing some radio, a little bit of terrestrial radio, a little small time stuff, trying to get my feet wet. So that's what I kind of been working with. And I didn't want to be the host that raps with everybody that comes through that I interview. I kind of want to keep that, separate. I want to respect the craft of interviewing, such as you gentlemen. You know what I mean? It's a lot of times people don't understand how hard it is to really like talk consistently. It's way harder than what you think. And you are super conscientious of everything you say, right? Because it's no time. It's a trip. So I've been trying to put my feet in that. I've been looking for creative outlets outside. I've been possessed with rhyming for 30 years. Other than financial literacy, nothing even tickled me enough to care other than words. Right, I've just been a fool for words my whole entire life, and so now to find creative outlets outside of that is big for me personally, and so that's what I've been trying to do.
I'm working on a cooking show.
Okay,
a cooking show. There's a lot of MCs that can burn. I've been a chef most of my life, so now I want to basically, burn not only mics, but burn it on a stove. You know what I'm saying? And, and cook some things that let me help make your eating experience better. Period. No puns intended, but yeah. Let me make your cooking experience better and show you it's not as hard as you think it is, and it's easy. All you gotta do is want to put forth a little bit of effort. Take an extra step. I guarantee you, your eating experience at home or cooking for your people will be better.
Right.
Last name Raspberry, fam. It's not a game. I'm a chef. These brothers know. I sell desserts right now. And I cater. So that's my hustle, and I'm building that. And I want to be, I salute all of the chef MCs out here, man. It's a lot of cats that can rap and they can really cook.
Yeah. Been seeing,
Jeroby White, he's a chef. You know what I mean? Trick Daddy, he got a cooking, he got a restaurant. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of cats that are involved in hip hop. Hip hop and food have been synonymous for quite some time now. So,
And what's my man name again? The one they say used to sound like Ghostface all the time. Isn't he a chef?
Action Bronson.
Yeah,
Action
Action Bronson. He's a chef. Action Bronson.
Yeah, he's
Bronson.
Yep.
Oh,
Nice with it.
Tragedy got some kind of
Yeah, on the
I
child.
heard about that.
Yeah,
Have
they
you
don't
seen
like
how
that.
much you think of that joint?
What's that?
Whatever. Depends on who he got on the show.
I think, yeah, I'm not sure. I know he brings on like a guest and then they put
Yeah.
something together. But yeah. That's dope, man. That's
We
dope.
got another brother from the DMV who's actually on the Rye Bread Project, Chamber. He's a chef also. He's done
nice
a cooking show that was really dope. You know what I mean?
Yeah, called copious amounts.
Yeah,
Well, listen, man.
copious.
Hopefully, once everything is completely opened up, man, we could get a chance to come down your way and sit down and have a nice little feast, man.
Yeah,
That's
that's dope.
That's what's good.
Dope.
Yeah.
That's good.
What about you, Better? What you working on?
Oh man, I've been working with these cultivators at this project called Green Solutions. You know what I'm saying? And they've actually provided us with our own strain. You know what I mean? And it's pretty fire. Meridian Mints, you know what I'm saying? It's out in the dispensaries in DC right now. And we gonna have a thing, we gonna have this rollout party on 420, man, so we can bring that to the people so they can all get a taste of it. It's some fire. I ain't trying to, you know what I mean? It's a hybrid between a animal mints and a home strain that they have called Moses Gift. So they brought these two together and it produced these Meridian mints. I mean, it got the flavor, it got the, it got the taste, it got the scent. For the pot enthusiasts who are out there, you know what I'm saying? This message is for you. Right. So that's what we work with right now. We got it out in Cali, Colorado, and DC. Now we're trying to just get it out everywhere. So that's the move with that.
Nice.
What about you, Theory? Theory froze up.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, but
we can hear you.
But that's really me. I'm not moving my lips when I'm talking.
That's the talent you're working on.
The ventriloquism, you know what I mean?
Yeah, well, look, but not for nothing. I support everybody that's on the screen. You know what I'm saying? I also engineer and mix and create. So I continue to create to feed this whole thing nonstop. So you're looking at my next 3 projects right there. You know what I'm saying? 98%.
Very dope.
Well, if not 100% of what they do next. They know what I'm trying to do. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Theory did most of my first album, Face Crunch. Theory did most of my second album, Entertainment. And if you love what you're hearing with Meridian, you just go check it out. You Face Crunch or Entertainment.
At badhuman.com, he said there's 100 pieces there. I absolutely did 98% of it, if not 99.
Yeah, real life.
Yep. So I'm gonna continue that work ethic right there. I feel like I'm evolving and changing. I keep inspiring my brothers. Then that's the win.
No wonder you got the most. No wonder you got the most trophies out of all of us, bro.
Okay.
I take that.
You working hard, man.
That's game early too, up here.
Very dope.
Working hard.
Hey, Meridian, we appreciate you for stopping through tonight. Big shout out to Miss Hendricks for connecting us.
That's right.
Before we get out of here, can you guys shout out your social media and where we can keep up with Meridian moving forward?
All right, Dimensions here. You can catch me on IG, The Real Dimensions. I'm not really on Twitter, but The Real Dimensions on IG. Holla at me.
You can holler at me on IG at Better's Will, BETTASWIL on Instagram, man. I'm mostly active on that more so than anything else. Twitter is at Lord Better. But get at me on IG, and we can have fun on it.
I'm gonna make that turn and get on IG, but it's at Noyeek, NOYEEK. I use my government on Facebook, Keon Raspberry. You'll see me there.
Yeah, Theory on Instagram and Twitter as well, at Theory Beats, just like it's spelled.
No doubt. We got one last question before we get out of here, and if you all you guys can kind of chime in and give your thoughts, go ahead, Uncle E.
Yeah. Before I ask you guys that question, if you could do us a favor, man, Changing of the Hip Hop Guards is always on Instagram. If you could follow us there, man, I'll make sure to follow you guys all back.
Absolutely.
All right. So, last question for today is: hip hop is getting ready to turn 50 years old soon. What are some of your what's your take on that? How do you guys feel about hip hop becoming 50 years old?
It's beautiful, man. It's a year of jubilation. You know what I'm saying? That's a great thing. I ain't got no problems with hip hop turning that age. I just, I think we need to open up the avenues so it can be respected appropriately. You know what I'm saying? Like Dom said, death to ageism. It shouldn't be no cutoff date to hip hop. You know what I'm saying? Ain't no cutoff date in R&B. Ain't no cutoff date in country music. Ain't no cutoff date in nothing else. But they act like hip hop, you can only be young and you're going to be looked at if you're a young rapper. That's stupid to me.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You get better as you age because you learn more. You got more to talk about. And what you're saying is actually worth something. So that needs to be recognized. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm a martial artist too. So in the world of Kung Fu, the old men are carried upon the young man's shoulders. It should be the same way in hip hop. You dig?
Right.
All I gotta say is hip hop is 50 almost. Act like it.
And
That's it.
Right.
Yeah,
I'm almost 50. I act like it. Hip hop, act like it. You almost 50. You too grown to act any other way.
it's not the Will Smith style though. So not 50 like Will Smith though.
As a child of God, I'm gonna be a man of God and take responsibility for what He blessed me with, and that's this culture.
Absolutely.
I'm happy we're still here to do it. I'm happy that it's growing and that young people. I got this thing right now. What's happening is there's a whole group of kids that sat in the back of the car while we as parents complained about what was on the radio.
Yes, sir.
Soulful shit. All our 90s hit, all of it. And so we got this group of young producers growing up with a taste, and they've already started sampling the late 80s and 90s hits. And with a whole different level of sonic, some incredible music is coming out. So I'm glad that what's old is new again. I mean, these kids are calling dusty 90s hip hop lo-fi. And then trying to even go further. Some kid was like, "You ever heard of Lofi?" I'm like, "Whoa,
Lofi, yeah.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah, we just call
you
that
can't
hip
have
hop.
it.
Somebody
You
just
just call
said
that
that to
hip
me.
hop. You know what I mean? You just call that hip hop.
That's dusty 90s classic hip hop, period, no matter how you cut it. And it's the hottest shit going right now.
Digging in the crate.
For vinyl.
Digging in the crates is back.
So
Yeah.
I'm glad, and I'm a part of it. And I know that through our story and through what we've done, who's seen us, who's been in the room as we learned and created this. We're a part of all that history, period. We're absolutely part of the evolution. You know what I'm saying?
And it's some young boys like Kodak. It's some young boys out here, Joey Badass. There's some young boys that's carrying the torch. So it's not dead. You know what I mean? It's
by
like,
no means.
Hip
hop ain't dead. It's evolving. And that's my statement.
That's right.
Right.
And you know what? It wasn't like, older cats were like reaching out to us. Remember, hip hop was a fad. So that 50 years is a testament to the passion and the strength, right? And the brevity that it's had to last this long. That's what that 50 years, that half a century mark, and to dominate to the point where it could be country music. You hear those drums right there. It's been affected by hip hop. Like every genre of music, other than maybe classical, is being affected. And I wouldn't even say that, and even classical, because now these youngers are coming up, they're playing the violins and all these other, they're still doing it with a little hip hop twist to it because they came up in both worlds. So that 50 years is a testament that that it's almost like America, right? America had a meteoric growth spurt, right, for a country. When you compare it to everybody else, our history is infantile in comparison to other countries that's been here for thousands of years, right? Documented before America.
We got 400 years.
America is whipping ass, like, right? It's the same thing with hip hop. Hip hop has only been here a smidgen of time. But within that smidgen of time, it has created whole different ecosystems and industries, and it is added to the Black millionaire so much. It has added to Black excellence so much. And now we are in that transitional time where we are allowed to really eat off the fruits of our labor. You know what I mean? Without all that crap in between you and the ear of the listener. You know what I mean? So it's different now.
Right.
And these youngins are capitalizing on that. We had to learn how to adjust, you know what I mean, to this new form of how you going of how to go about it. And these youngins, they on it. And I appreciate them because I learned from them. I learned from my son. You know what I mean? The farmer's market, that's his crew. And he's like, "Nah, Dad, you got to get on IG. Nah, Dad, you got to do." Like, he know his dad is nice, right? But he still is like, yeah, but this is how we do it now, right?
Right.
To understand that, learn from it, opposed to hating on it.
Yep.
Yeah, you gotta stay hip. You know what I mean? It's hip hop, so you gotta stay hip. And, you know, if
50
you ain't with
years
the young,
later.
if you ain't with the youth, you know what I'm saying? You ain't hip no more, because that's what it's all about. So you gotta have that connection, and that's as elders now. It's our job to teach the youth, but we also gotta learn from them because the life is in the youth.
Right.
50 years later, they don't sell anything or market anything without our culture.
Very
Nothing.
true.
Nothing. Everything involves. There's nothing that happens that hip hop is not involved in.
Right. It's in different doors now, different rooms now.
Yeah.
It's everywhere.
Very true.
We everywhere. We're in the government. You understand what I'm saying? We're everywhere.
Right. I mean, Barack is a hip hop.
It's 50 years old now, so it makes
You
sense.
got a president that was in hip hop.
Yeah.
Right, that's big. That's huge. You got the
That
president of the
huge,
United
man.
States was in the hip hop. You know what I'm saying?
You put it in perspective, right? In the 80s, you know what I'm saying? Like, you look at music from the 60s, right? All that Motown stuff. That was like a way throwback in the 80s. You know what I'm saying? But it was only 20 years. Hip hop 50 years old now. You know what I'm saying? And it's been prevalent for way over 20 years as far as a commercial revenue. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, it makes sense that it's everywhere. So it's, we got to take charge, front and center, to represent it properly.
Right.
So all the elements of it aren't misconstrued. So we all, everybody knows what it's really about. But it's not about the jingles. It's not about that bag. It's about your energy and transcending that into things we call music, that vibration, because that vibration never ceases.
Right. Very dope. Gentlemen, before we get out of here, I just want to say, we've gotten to know all of you guys together. My partner, journalist Sincere, he's been doing this since about 94, more or less, up until now. Interviews and, different, long list of artists, producers, etc. Myself, I've been doing this since about 2008. Same thing, doing interviews with different artists from the culture. I'm also part of UYP, the Get Yours Posse, that was down with KMD and MF Doom and all of that. That's why I got the post and all of that. Sincere is down with Get Yours as well. You know what I mean? So that's just to give you guys a little, introduction to us.
Well, yeah, right.
Put the time to tell us about yourselves. And once again, man, thank you very much. Shout out. What's your other partner's name? The one that couldn't make it?
Beneficial.
Shout out to Beneficial as well. Hope everything is well, and much continued success to you guys. Shout out again to Miss Hendricks, and on behalf of myself and Sincere and Changing of the Hip Hop Guards, man, continue with everything and keep pushing, fellas.
Yeah, we're definitely make sure we get new music to you, brothers. Thank you.